I am outside of Illinois State University at Watterson Tower, where the bargaining session today ended without an agreement, which means that union workers will remain on strike. The university has not announced a settlement, and the disruption is being felt across campus. Some students are telling us how the trash pileup is crazy in the dining halls and in the garages. ISU has brought in outside contract workers to help maintain operations during this strike. Several federal and state elected officials, including Congressman Eric Sorensen, State Senator David Kaler, and State Representative Sharon Chung have publicly urged the university to settle. Strikers and supporters do plan to march and rally outside President Tarhouli's office tomorrow, April 16th at around 11 a.m. to urge the administration and Board of Trustees to reach a deal. As you can see behind me, there are cars coming by. They are honking. They are sharing their support for the union, and this is a very frustrating time for the union, for students, for parents around ISU, and this is very frustrating for them, and they are urging ISU to reach a settlement.